Behind the Brand, episode 6.
Is this camera on me?
I hope so.
So welcome back to the Half of This Show. I'm your host, Jay Halfaday, the flyest man on the internet. And today we have another interview episode of Behind the Brand. And joining me, I have my boy Aaron, aka AceVizualz. Appreciate you coming on the show, man. You do a lot of creative work, photography, videography, video editing in general. You're also an engineer, right?
Yeah.
Software engineer.
Software engineer.
How you feel about coming on the Half of This Show today?
You know, it's been something that I've been looking forward to for a while. I've been seeing you, grow and I guess continue to build yourself. So it's just something I wanted to do to kind of put myself out there more.
Likewise, I've been a fan of yours for a while. I've been seeing like all the behind the scenes that you be posting. I'm like, this brother's talented. Like he does a lot of good work, a lot of creative stuff. I'm like, I need to get him on the show and get his story out there. You feel me? So I appreciate you coming on.
Glad to be here.
So first question, like I said, you're an engineer, but you also do all this creative stuff. How do you balance like that work life or work creative life balance? Like, how do you figure that out? How do you navigate that?
The best way that I can say I balance is, I guess, I sort of started getting a schedule for myself. So I'm like, I'm going to do this much work, like my actual work, and then I switch over to my photography or videography work. It really depends on like the work week, because there may be instances where I get caught up in my work, so it's like I have to push aside some of my other video work. So it honestly depends, but I always try and get at least an hour a day in for doing any video work or photography work. It really depends, just because even though I do love what I do for video and photography, I still have to work.
Yeah, I feel that. So like I seen you doing that series on TikTok. What was it like? The 30-day challenge or the 40-day? 30-day challenge where how many days was it? I think you did like 16, 18.
No, I did 25.
Did 20? It was almost there.
I'm gonna pick it back up. It's just I've been a little bit busy, and then also I had some setback. Well, not really setbacks, just minor inconveniences. And so I'm gonna get it back going, and then we'll move from there.
So how long you been in this type of work?
I feel like I've always been in this type of work. I've always been taking pictures and videos and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I say my senior year of high school where I was like, okay, I like making videos and stuff. So I just continued on, because I've always been making like end of year reels or recaps of what I've done throughout the year. But it was never really like any serious work, and it wasn't until I decided to get my very first camera.
What?
I forget. It was just some random camera from Amazon. I'd say it was like $80-$90.
Shit.
But I mean, really, the thing that really pushed me into deciding I'm gonna do this with everything I have is I always saw people post these photos. They got photo shoots done or whatever, and I was like, I just don't think the photographer was really in it when they took those pictures.
What do you mean by that?
So it's like I see in people's work, I can usually see their style, or I can usually see the amount of effort, and it may be me just reading into it a little bit too much, but sometimes I feel like they didn't give it their all, and they're more so doing it for a cash grab. And they're not really doing it because they're necessarily passionate. It's like, I get that you may not be passionate, but I feel like if you're gonna do something, you should try and do it to the best of your ability.
So do you think there's a difference between taking a photo of someone and actually photographing them?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, could you explain that? So I think you talked about it. It's like the personalization of it. And I'm gonna take a step back. I seen this video on TikTok where they was talking about wearing an outfit versus styling. Is that something similar?
Definitely. I definitely agree. I feel like, well, everyone has their own style, even if it still may look like someone else's style, but that's just because they're still growing. They're trying to, figure out what they want to do with their work. And when it comes to, just taking a photograph, I could just take a photograph, and be done with it. But it really takes someone who cares about their work. Not saying that people who just take photos don't care about their work, but I just feel like people who really care about their work will put in the time to understand why they shot something the way they did, or really understand what they want to do with their work, or have some type of story they want to tell with their work.
Would you agree that part of photography is direction? Like, you know, placing your subject in a specific frame or a specific light, the angle at which they're like standing or whatever. Like, you think that's like an important part of photography and videography too?
100%. I feel like you should always be moving with intent in what you do with your work, just because at the end of the day, the end product of what you do is a reflection of that.
Do you think you've ever had like an oh shit moment in your career creatively where it's like, damn, I can really do this like for money, or like I'm really good at this? Like, have you had that moment? What was that like?
I feel like, wow, this may come off as a thing, but I feel like I've always like had that in me, where
that all me.
Exactly, where I'm like, yeah, I can make money off this. It's just like, because I feel like I've always had like a vision when it came to like creative work. So I feel like I've always been like, okay, I can make money off this. But it wasn't until I said, so end of 2021, where I was like, I'm gonna make my first little short film. And when I made it and I finished it, I was like, I can really take it to the next level, and I can really like do something with this. So it wasn't until then where I was like, okay, like I was making some money off of it, you know, doing some grad shoots, but it wasn't until that moment where I was like, I could really take off and I could like become something with this. So
is that your dream? Like actually, what is your dream?
My dream, one of them.
'Cause I feel like you got a bunch.
Oh man. So I guess my main dream is to be able to create movies.
I have that dream too. Like, you love movies, nigga. I know. I was saying, this man posts like 10 movie reviews every week or something like that. And he got real good taste in movies, TV, all that stuff. Anime too. We might get into that. We'll see. I feel like, I don't know. You be posting spoilers and shit too. You gotta be worried about who you follow. But you said movies, directed movies, that's one of your big dreams?
Yeah, cause I just love creating, I guess, lasting media.
I like that. I think in your Instagram you have making moments.
Yeah.
That's deep. What does that mean to you?
To me, it means create something that's, I know I just said like lasting media, but just like being able to capture instances in time and have multiple people look back on it and be like, that was a good time. Because it's like, I feel like a lot of time nowadays, like especially let's use Marvel, because like they're constantly cranking out all these different shows, all these different movies, and it's like, if you look back and ask people like, what were your thoughts on this, they probably don't even remember it, just because it was such a small moment in time. Whereas where you look at some of these older movies, like, you know, people know the creative players, yeah, The Godfather and stuff like that, and people are like, that's a movie. That's a lasting piece of media that will probably always be talked about.
So do you think there's a such thing as too much content?
Oh yeah.
Why?
I feel like some people, they're constantly like cranking out content and stuff like that.
I saw that shit. Gotcha.
But it's just, sometimes I feel like it gets a little stale. And I personally, when I first started, I used to be posting like that like all the time, but then I realized I wasn't really growing in the way that I wanted to. So then I started like taking a step back and really like planning out what I'm gonna do, and then also just really, I guess, really taking my time on my work. Because I used to always post photos, I used to always post videos all the time, and then I realized I need to really like be what is it? What's the word? Keyboard. More present? No, not more present. I guess more
Intentional.
I need to be more intentional with my work, just because I can easily just
Put out some shit.
and then be like, okay, here y'all go. But that doesn't really do anything. And it's like, I feel like over time with too much content, you're just oversaturating everything.
So that definitely. Do you think there's a such thing as bad content? Like, you know, people have their own vision, people have their own ideas and their own, you know, creative thoughts in their mind. Is there such thing as putting out bad work, whether that be objectively, subjectively, or is beauty truly in the eye of the beholder?
That's funny that you said that, because me being, I try and be a realist, and the realist in me wants to say, yes, there's such thing as bad content, but recognizing that things can be subjective, I have to say no.
You're not gonna stand on business?
Okay,
You said it first. You said yes, there is bad work.
I mean, so
It might be good to them.
So to them, yes, it's good work or good work, but to me, I feel like as someone who like to criticize things, I feel like I'm an avid hater in some regards, but I hate because I want better for people, and I want better for, I guess, the whole content creation scene, or everything as a whole.
I think I would agree with that. I think one thing I would say, bad work is when it doesn't have soul in it.
Exactly.
Like,
I agree with that.
if it don't have, like, if I can tell you didn't try, or like you didn't even, like, you just put it out there just because you know it's going to work, get engagement and stuff like that, I would say that's bad. And then I guess that goes into the technology aspect too, because, like, you know, automation is coming into it. Like, if somebody just types in the ChatGPT, produce me, like, there's ways to improve your workflow with AI. I agree. Definitely make things quicker, smoother, faster.
It's a tool.
But it's a tool, you know what I'm saying? But if you're just churning content out using AI, I feel like that's bad work. There's no flavor in that. Like, somebody did the work for you. Like, you typed in a prompt and that was that. Now, if you modified that or tweaked it, or, like, you know, there is some level of creativity that goes into using artificial intelligence. But at the same time, if a robot is just making it, it's soulless.
Exactly.
So I feel like that would be an example of bad work for me.
I mean, I feel like, me personally, I see bad work, but it's like, I also have to take a step back and think, like, how long has this person been at it?
And that's also another layer.
Because, like, I look back at my old work and I'm like, that's terrible work.
You can say it now because of your evolution.
Oh, of course. But at the same time, I'm like, I was giving it my all with what I had and what I knew.
I did want to go back to that question I asked you earlier. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about the creative work that you do?
I'll start with the negative to the least favorite. And it's not to anyone who may, you know, in the future want to work with me, but clients sometimes. And it's because I have such strong feelings about my work that I want to have, if not all, creative freedom to do, like, what I'm envisioning for the work. So it's like, a lot of times I end up clashing, or I end up having to back off from what I want to do, and it really just doesn't feel like me at the end of the day.
That was tough, especially because, like, you don't want to put out no work that you ain't really feeling it, but at the same time, like, if they pay you, well, then it's also another conflict. It's like, well, if you don't really want to do that work, would you ever turn somebody away?
Yeah.
100%. That was one of my other questions, but we're gonna come back to that one too.
But
for the favorite,
the favorite I'd have to say is the finished product. after, I feel like I've executed everything, I've edited everything, just being able to, because what I do after, like, I'm finally completely finished with a piece of work, I turn off all the lights in my room and I put on the video on one of my screens, and I just sit back and I just watch it all, and I kind of take it in
as a consumer.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is me. This is what I did.
So when you say this is me, what's one element or aspect that you put into all of your work that just says, all right, this is Aaron?
That's tough, because I feel like I'm still not at that point where it's like I can 100% say like this is fully me. I know that it may be a little contradictory, but it's like I feel like I haven't really gotten my style. I feel like I'm still kind of working off of what I've seen others do.
So I think I have two different examples, I think, for me, and this might help you. 'Cause I think you have a distinct style. Like the way that you color some of your videos, or like there's this effect. It's almost like a haze that you put on your videos. I don't know if that is like something that you always do, but like I've seen it in like 4 of your videos, and I'm like, I like this style. And I don't really see it across like other videographers' work. Like, for example, there's this guy on TikTok, and I think he's popularized like a new font style and color style, and now everybody captions their videos the same way. And I'm like, okay, it's trendy, yes, but at the same time, if everybody's doing the same text, the same lighting, the same color grading, we're not getting that diversity of style from different creators anymore.
Yeah.
So like when I look at your videos versus their videos, I'm like, this is Aaron and this is them. You know what I'm saying? Another example would be like, like I said, man, I've been a fan, man. I can't hold it. So it's like, for me, like with all this fashion shit, one thing that I've been like trying to do is like, my new favorite color is orange. I try to put like a piece of orange in every single one of my outfits. Like, it's like, you know how like cartoon characters or anime characters, they got like a uniform and they wear that same shit every time. Like, I think that applies directly to like videography and photography. Like, you have a style as a creator and you apply that intention to client work.
Well, I guess with that, I do, like, one thing I try and pride myself on, and it's something that a lot of people notice, is my color grading and how I edit my videos, because I feel like that's definitely important, because a lot of times I see people, they just post videos, but it's like I don't really feel much emotion from it, and it's like I feel like I intentionally like edit my videos, I color grade. A color grading is basically, you know, adding color, of course, but doing it in a way where you're able to, I guess, add another layer to your work. So I feel like with my color grading and how I do it, that's something a little bit unique to me. But I mean, the way I color grade it, it's basically I use someone else's LUTs, but I mean, I tweak it in a way where I guess it's a little bit more personal and how I like things.
What is one thing you wish people knew more about you?
I feel like I've always thought about it in my head. I'm like, damn, I wish people just like knew the work that I put in to this kind of, and it's like, I'll even take it back to when I was still an athlete. I mean, I'm still kind of an athlete on the side, behind the scenes, but that's besides the point. When I was coming into college to run track, like I was a tryout walk-on, really. The only reason why I made the team, well, actually I got cut and then they brought me back. But the only reason why I made it is because my coach at the time, she said, the only reason why I don't want you to get cut is because you work and you work hard. In high school, I didn't have a track coach.
Right.
I taught myself and I taught others how to, you know, run, jump, all that stuff. And it's like, I used to sneak out my house, like most people, they sneak out the house to go to parties or whatnot. And this may sound corny, but I snuck out just to go to the track and run.
Damn, that's
I would
Kobe stories, man.
I would, and that's a real story. And it's like, even on my phone now, like if you look at my my browser, it's like you see a whole bunch of like track articles and stuff like that. It's like I was so dedicated to the game where like I would just read different articles on how to improve, and it's like I feel like it's translated over to my everyday life. And it's like I put in so much hours into just learning, you know, about videography and all that stuff. And it's like all the behind the scenes stuff. So it's like all this stuff that's translating now, people are like, oh, your work is like really improved. But it's like there's a lot more work that went into that to get me to where I am. And I just wish more people knew that. It's like I feel like that's a little selfish of me to think.
I don't think it's selfish.
But it's like I just want people to know that I've just worked so hard to get where I am. And sometimes I feel like some people don't realize.
I'm part of Aaron's fan club. I might be like I'm the leader of the Aaron Hive. You feel me? Like I see the work ethic, brother. Like I can't hold you. Like I think it's like people see like a good product, but they don't see like the layers and layers and layers of work that it took to get there. It's like, damn, how this person get so good at it? By putting in the fucking reps, you feel me? So it's like, I think people think because it looks so good that it was easy, because you make it look easy. But the reality of it is it's only easy because you work so hard over the years to get to that point, honing your craft, putting in the hours, learning, developing, testing shit out, failing, all of that. It's an iterative process, like you were saying, like, and I think that's deep as a creator to be able to be rewarded for the hard work that you put in. Absolutely, it's important. So then I think another question kind of related would be is, what's one thing you won't compromise on when it comes to your creative work?
Hell, like I feel like nowadays, and it may be a little arrogant, but it's like I feel like I've developed my style to a point where I'm like, I need people to know that I worked on this.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really like someone who will do work for like different companies and stuff like that where they have like, oh, you have to do it this, that, like do it like this. Like if I can't be like, I want to shoot it like this because this is how I'm envisioning it, then it's like I don't want to do it, because then it just loses originality, because then I feel like it's just another piece of work and an ever-growing mass of content where people are just doing it a certain way. That's why I don't like when I see a whole bunch of content creators doing work in a way where it's like, it's just like the other 15 other people, like what you're saying, how on TikTok there's this guy who has the certain font and now everyone else is new. I don't like
it either. Like I don't even like people like doing the same types of videos like all the time. Like, okay, like yeah, this is gonna sound like hypocritical of me, but like I do get ready with me, but it's like my get ready with me's don't look like everybody else. Like, you feel me? Like there was a period of time like on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube where people were just like getting dressed with me. They stand in front of the camera, they go like this. Everybody. Like it's like 3,000 videos all doing the same thing. Nobody says anything. They put on the same type of outfit and it's all 15 seconds long, exactly with the same audio. And I'm like, y'all enjoy this shit? And that's when I came in, because I started, I'm looking like I could do that, but I'm gonna do it my way. Like, and now it's working. You feel me? So I'm like, that ain't what this episode about. This episode about you. Fuck what I'm talking about. Is there any one more message that you want to tell the good people, to the millions and millions of fans out there? What's one thing you want to say to them? Any advice, any tips?
Well, it's something that we kind of touched on earlier, and it's about being intentional with your work. Like, even though it's easy to, just hit record or hit the shutter button to take a picture or video, just know that you should always kind of have some type of idea of what you want to do. rather than just, going with the motions. It's like going with the motion, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you won't really grow as much as you hope to if you're not intentional with your work.
That's real. I think that's all I got for you. 1 camera shut down, 2 batteries later, and 20 gigs of data. But I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Appreciate you, friend. This has been an episode of the Half a Day Show, education, entertainment, and everything in between. See y'all when I see y'all.